Oh, just
Good morning or good evening. You're joined by the Mutley crew, rudderless and ready to talk about the magnificent match that was Plymouth at the weekend. I think as we were talking about offline just before we came on, it was kind of a game that there's not huge amounts brilliant to be said, but equally nothing bad to be said because we made 11 changes and we got through to the quarterfinals, which was our sole aim for the day. How are you, Pat?
I'm all right, mate. I fell asleep with the windows open and the breeze picked up, so I'm a little bit sniffly at the moment. But apart from that, I'm good. Thanks to anybody who sent me messages. I'm fine. I've just been working like mad lately, just trying to get more spending money before I go away in 2 weeks. Otherwise, things are good with me. I'm not in trouble with the law or anything. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. I've just had to hide while I've just had to just make a bit more of a living. So that's all. But apart from that, I'm all good. And we're going to try our best to dissect this game today.
You've been in the trouble with the law since the day you were born.
Thanks.
I think it's fair to say. As the great Waylon Jennings once said, might not be getting desperate to come on now if we're doing the Dukes of Hazzard this early in the evening. Yeah. So the game, 11 changes. I was very surprised. I was on the show on my Friday morning, Thursday night, and I said I thought, honestly, the FA Cup was really important for the rest of the season, that we'd respect the opposition, and I thought we'd make 3 or 4 changes. I had Guardiola, Haaland, Edison, and I think there was one other, and Doku, because of his injuries. I had them dropping out, but I thought we'd have a really strong team. I thought, we'd see, Rico, Ruben, Ake. I thought we'd see Nico in midfield. I thought we'd probably, see, most of the first 11 from Spurs. And then the team came out, no Marmoush, no Haaland, Heiss in defence, no Kuzanov or Diaz, no Nico. It was 11 changes, I think, from the Spurs game. What on earth did you think then? I was very surprised. I thought,
mate, oh joy, we're going back to the false 9 days, because I didn't really know what to make of that lineup once you took Haaland and Marmoush out of it. I was a little bit confused with it, to be honest, because I know we're just coming to the end of a regular 3, twice a week, 3 times a week fixtures. Now we're out of the Champions League too, so rotation's going to be at a limit, and players are only going to be playing every 7 days. So I thought I thought you could just continue playing the same squad you did against Spurs, knowing full well that pretty much every single one of them is going to get a 7-day rest now. So I was a little bit. I thought it was a little bit weird, that lineup too. But then at the same time too, it was, I think if we were playing, everybody's seen we got drawn Bournemouth in the next round. I think if we were playing Bournemouth this round, then we probably would have seen a repeat of the lineup against Spurs. So without sounding like we're playing down to our opposition, but I think again, if you're going to play lower league teams, I think you can allow yourself a little bit of rotation. But of course, Pep, being the consummate professional he is, he'll still try to make it as respectable and as competitive a lineup as he can, still give young players a go and things. And so for me, I still want to rinse and repeat from Tottenham, but I totally get why Pep would want to rotate and get some of the young guns in.
Yeah, no, it was a funny team to me. It just didn't look like it had been picked with a way of playing or a purpose in mind. And given what we'd seen from Plymouth in the other rounds about being pretty physical, pretty solid at the back, good in the air. I mean, it didn't look like a team that we'd particularly picked.
Well, let's have a look at the lineup anyway. So we had Stefan Ortega in goals, and our defence from right to left was Rico Lewis, Victor Hayes, Nathan Ake, and Nico O'Reilly playing at left back. Then we had a midfield of Ilkay Gundogan, then Bernardo Silva, James McAtee, Kevin De Bruyne, and Jack Grealish, with Phil Foden effectively playing auxiliary forward, you could say. So, I saw that and I was like, I like the strength through the middle. I thought it was good, but again, as I said to you, I still thought, Vardiol could have got some minutes. I still thought, I thought Ruben Diaz would, and I mean, he ended up doing that because it looks like Nathan Ake is injured again. But again, it's always a sea contradiction with this, because you want to play strong, but at the same time too, with all due respect to the opposition you're playing, you can sometimes have the luxury of resting key players. So, and again, we're in uncharted waters, something that we haven't done for a long time, where we're back to playing once a week now. So, it's when you factor all three in, you're obviously going to have mixed emotions about what lineups are going to be when you're playing, these sort of fixtures.
Yeah.
Does anything stand out to you more there? Because I think, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I look back at it now, and a lot of players I see in this lineup are sort of, if I'd had a good think about it before the game, they should have probably been in this lineup anyway.
Yeah, I'm not honestly sure. I thought, honestly, I think with his form coming good and at his age, I don't know why Cousinov didn't get another game. I'm not sure why Nico didn't get a game. I think he needs, he's not tired, he's exhausted, he's got that presence in the air. So I thought we were, shall I say, a little bit arrogant in that lineup, and we should have gone stronger. As it was, Pep was right. We got through pretty easy, and people say we went behind, but honestly, we should have had a blatant penalty. We hit the post. They had some good saves. We missed a few sitters. I don't subscribe to the narrative that it was an incredibly close game. We were lucky to get through. I saw a game that could have easily have been 5-0 at the same time. So I'd never really felt like we weren't going to win it. Even when we went one behind, it felt like it was going to be
we looked patient out there. We looked patient. It didn't look like we're trying to hurry things too much. And to be honest, like at the front of that, I'd say probably the most patient on the field was probably one of our youngest, Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah. He certainly showed he knows how to get to the back post and put in just a tiny little cushioned header into the goal. And so for me, I just think we weakened ourselves a bit too much, and we should have played a few players we didn't, just to give them more time.
See what happens. I go away for a week and everyone starts chatting bollocks. What's going on here?
Well, I went away for a week, so feelings mutual, Martin.
What's going on here? See what happens when we leave Rich in charge, Pat. See what happens when we leave Rich.
I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge of anything. Jeez.
It's just as an even keel, so I don't see what's wrong.
Thank you, Lee Gates. Glad to have you back. Thank you, mate.
Besides that, we're
all emotionally calm. It's all emotionally calm.
We're prepping ourselves up for
good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian way. I'm going to leave Rich and Pat to continue co-hosting.
Well, that's good because then we can start doing our pre-match thoughts for Forest because all
No,
we're concerned about is a certain
Plymouth.
number 9 for their team.
I enjoyed it. Good evening, everyone.
No, we're bringing the Friday show forward because we're only concerned about one player next weekend.
And the Thursday show and the Wednesday show.
No, by the way, the Thursday show is not Chris Wood Appreciation Society.
No, we're going to have Wednesday's going to be the Marmouche Chris Wood comparison show. Thursday, the Haaland Chris Wood comparison show. Yeah. And Friday, the Messi Chris Wood comparison show.
And then the post-match will be if we win, it'll be the Chris Wood, Chris Killen comparison show.
Right. Anyway, go on. What was you saying? I actually enjoyed the game. I thought the 11 was spot on. Because I'm going to be honest, I'd have been a bit pissed off if he went strong yesterday. I know there's been a big hoo-ha about playing Nathan Ake, but in all fairness, we're at one game a week. So I've no problem with it. Really, I think it was a toss-up between Ake or Diaz. He went with what he did. Because the problem is Diaz and Ake and Stones and Akanji were never getting through 90 minutes. So do you play your young lad who's actually on form and flying and he gets injured? So I think it was a bit of a no-win situation yesterday. I have no problem with the 11.
What we want, Martin, is we want Nico Khuzanov up to winning 100 points in the league speed by next season. And to be honest with you, if they've got no sign of injuries, no sign of fatigue or anything, I want players like Khuzanov, Nico, Marmouche playing as much as they can, because ultimately next season, we need them built in, used to everything, fully up to speed. And honestly, I don't think Gundo needs another run around to know what he's doing for City, and I think Nico would have benefited from it. I don't think Ake need it.
No, Gundo he played with someone else in Mandrich because it was getting the trigger on the rally. He was getting the trigger on the extension.
Yeah, but that's for Gundo, not for. I mean, I don't know whether Pep wants that or doesn't want that.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It does. If Pep doesn't pick him, it doesn't come. So, I just think that we should, I appreciate Savio probably needed some time off. I think Doku is prone to injury because of his, he's a very muscular guy, so he's probably maybe best rested. And like Haaland had his knee, I get that, but I didn't quite get why Khuzanov and why Nico.
Totally got it. Totally got it. Totally understand it.
And De Bruyne should have had a game. I do think De Bruyne is the one. If anyone needed the game, it was definitely De Bruyne.
I mean, I'll be straight with you. I think the person who needed the game and stood out like a sore thumb for all the wrong reasons, and I'm going to get killed. First day back in a week, people are going to kill me for this. But listen, everyone calls me happy clappy, but I'm going to hit you with a little bit of reality check now. James McAtee is not a Manchester City standard of a player. We need to wake up and come to that realisation. I am not being nasty on the lad. I am not being cruel. He's going to be a fantastic footballer, just not for Manchester City. And the sooner some fans come to terms on that, the better it will be for them.
Well, I think
Rich. James McAtee started and played the role of the invisible man.
Yeah, well, he's not signing his contract. He's going. So, I mean, it's not going to be anything for anyone to get too emotional about, because I think that's pretty much already
decided. I thought Plymouth fought like warriors yesterday. They were throwing the bodies in front of the ball, everything that was going. Because I'll be honest with you, you probably spotted it. First half, we were poor, but that was because of the way Plymouth played. Thought we were a bit poor. Second half, it was attack versus defence. 50 minutes, we just camped in there.
Yeah.
We just camped in there.
But even first half, we should have had 3. We had a blatant penalty.
I don't think we deserved it first half, Rich. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think we deserved
No,
it.
maybe. I don't think we were particularly great. But what I'm saying is, even first half, we had.
No, Rich, going to be honest, I thought we were shit.
Rich,
I'm going to be straight.
We were poor first half.
But Martin, the point is, we were, but we should still have been 2 or 3 up.
No, and I disagree with that, Rich, because we were slow, we were pedantic, we were sideways 500 passes again. Jack Grealish must have had a rocket up his ass first half, in half time, because what he was doing in the second half was nothing what he was doing in the first half.
He was doing old.
Bernardo was poor in the first half.
He was doing new.
Bernardo was poor all game.
Bernardo was poor. He was just getting dispossessed. He was overplaying. He was misreading plays, like, you know, trying to press as well too. It just all around. He just seemed off it. He got much better in the second half, but he was just off it in the first half.
I think mentally for Bernardo, mentally for Bernardo, it must have been a shock, because for every year since he's been at City, that would have been the game he's not playing. And so I think for him, above anyone else, you know, that would have been a shock, because he has been Pep's number 1 name on the team sheet in big games, and suddenly he's playing an FA Cup game with the kids. So I think for Bernardo, mentally, that would have been well, you know, De Bruyne's a little kid, isn't he? And Gundo with the kids.
Well, we are going to talk De Bruyne tonight, because there are rumours out there that I am very against, and I will explain why as well.
Oh, that should be good.
Hey, listen, we're going to come back with the bang. Also,
it's good to be back. Okay.
Tonight we are giving away Pep Guardiola book that will be going out as a thank you to you lovely, lovely family members. If we manage to beat Bournemouth, can we get past Villa? Why have we done the semi-final draw? We don't know if we're getting
Villa playing Preston. Is that what he's trying to say? But I mean, still, they could end up the other side of the semi-final.
That's what I mean. We might not even
end
up.
Yeah.
And by the way,
you want my opinion? I think Villa are second favourites after us to win this.
It changes. I'll be honest with you, and we'll get onto that as well. I think we got the hardest bloody draw we could have got.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Victor Hayes, we're going to talk about him. I thought he was superb for a young lad. Didn't realise how skinny he was, how slight he was for a 6-foot fella. He's skin and bones. He needs to get on that weight training with Rico.
Yeah. Get him to Costa Coffee for double cream frappuccino.
Right. And the croissant.
I will tell you now, I'm not over it. I will never get over it. I'm on medication to manage it now for the rest of my life. So I am fine. Don't worry about it. It's all fine. The lad's got the lovely photographs on Monday night with a tube sticking out my arm. Richard's reply was the best. That looks like a pair of earphones.
Yeah, well, I thought you were ready to go live.
I'm like, what on earth?
The Mancunian Y&E.
I'm in hospital. And sending him a photo of me because I had this big patch on where they had to put the IV drip in. And he's there when it looks like headphones.
Yeah, he's ready to
go. At first, I thought it was a nicotine patch. I was like, oh, you finally cut the habit, are you?
Bloody big nicotine patch and painful one.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's when she said to me, you scared of needles? No. She went, come out with one that big.
Oh,
I'm
God.
scared of that.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry. Reece and Kushnoff have to play more games. Yeah, I'm no problem with Kushnoff resting because he's going to be required now for the Premier League games moving forward. It is what it is. McAtee has been given so many chances. Yeah, and listen, there's no hate on McAtee. I think he's going to have a fabulous career at somewhere else. I don't think he's going to make it.
Do you know what hurt McAtee more than himself yesterday? Was Nico O'Reilly's performance.
He was outstanding.
Because the way I see it is Nico's taken his opportunities when they've been given to him. He's always come through and had a good performance. I mean, a couple of dodgy little performances off the bench. Some games, Ipswich he was poor. I don't know. Did he come on against Bournemouth or something? He was poor there as well too. But yeah, every time he's had an opportunity to step up, especially in the cup games, he's done it, and that's something McAtee hasn't. And I think that's going to reflect more on McAtee, because if you're still not going to be able to step up and play at 23 for this side, and yet you've got young Nico O'Reilly who takes his opportunities, who gets given less opportunities than you do, and he's 5 years younger than you, and he has much better performances. Then it's more reflective on McAtee. I hate to say it, but yeah, his days are numbered.
He's more physical, Nick O'Reilly, and that gives him a use in quite a few Premier League games where physicality and bit of pace and everything's pretty important. So I actually think he has something that is slightly different to a lot of the squad in that we're not always the biggest, especially if if Stones and a couple of others are injured. Whereas McAtee is just a poor man's version of what we have a fair bit of in the likes of the midfield, and that's the other thing. I think Nico has got an easier breakthrough than McAtee and is doing better.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing more with less.
That's what worries me about O'Reilly. He's going to end up like bloody Fabian Delph. Are we going to move another midfielder until after?
Hey, if he has a season like Fabian Delph did in the Centurion season,
yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I'm not
saying
if he did that, and we had to sell him, he'd go for 50 million.
Yeah, he had one like Delph
just one good season like that. Chelsea would take him for 75 million.
Well, Chelsea have already offered 30 million.
But at this rate, if he keeps going, at this rate he keeps going, they'll have to fork out 60 million for him at least.
You know what? It was a good performance overall. I thought Grealish second half let up, because you know what he did second half is something people have been begging for a long time.
Try to beat the player.
Run at your fullback and commit the guy to the byline. He was actually pushing defenders back. Where the first half, it was this tepid, sideways crap again that just was not working. And what you're doing is you're playing into Plymouth's back line like that. Because as soon as they got their goal, which, by the way, I've got to say this, what the hell are we doing on set pieces? Why is James McAtee marking Erling Haaland from Wish?
Yeah.
Because, by the way, that was Erling Haaland from Wish.
Yep.
He even had his bloody same hairstyle and everything. Probably
you watch a replay that you see Nathan Ake scrambling to try and rush to where that Maxi guy is, and you look at McAtee, like, it's not McAtee's fault, because that's not his job. He hasn't got the build and the stature for that. But to leave him stranded in such a vulnerable part of the pitch for a corner against a tall defender like that, you're just asking for trouble. It was such a soft goal to concede. And I think it's just been proof of just the way we've defended a lot of set pieces this season.
I'm going to talk about that midweek. I'm not expecting someone like a Belabor or a Bruno in the summer. I know that's what everyone wants, but they're not going to try and drop 100-odd million on Burts and then another 100 million on another midfielder. We've not got a limited amount of money.
Yeah, I think Nico has filled the position that we were thinking of Bruno for, which is that 6'8". I think Nico does that. I'm not talking about Nico O'Reilly, Gonzalez.
Which we will mention in a minute. Yeah. I am going to ask this of you, Rich, because I know you've got to go in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Disagree, McAtee's improving. I've not seen him have a good game. I've seen him have a good 10 minutes, BB. Every time he started, he's the invisible man, mate. Nobody yesterday thought he had a good game. He was the invisible man. And I've got to be honest, I'm not being cruel. I'm not trying to be nasty. He's 23, nearly 24. Come on. I'm expecting a bit more from him. He's out of contract in 2026. They're not going to send him on a loan. So he's turned down the contract.
He's not accepting the extension either.
Yeah, he's not signing the extension. It's time to go, mate, with him. I'm sorry, and this is where I'm at with KDB. There's rumours today KDB is going to be offered a 1-year deal with reduced wages as long as it takes a bit part situation. again, we are making the same mistakes we have made for the last 3 years that we've just moaned about.
Well, yes and no. Not if we sign Florian Wirtz. If we sign Florian Wirtz and De Bruyne stays as a kind of backup, I don't think that is the same mistake. The same mistake would be going with Gundo, Bernardo and KDB and not signing a world-class attacking midfield. So yes and no, Martin. Not signing a world-class attacking midfield like a Wirtz or, whoever else is our backup to Wirtz would be a big mistake. But keeping De Bruyne, if we've signed his replacement, I'm not against that. I've always said in the past, I wish we'd sign our replacements a year or two earlier and sometimes give them a bit of cover to come through.
Well, I don't think we can say that, Devious Ducky, because Rico Lewis was exceptional in his first 6 months at City when he broke in. Victor Hayes has only played one and a half games, so let's calm down. It's hard to compare the two, Devious.
As soon as you had
Rico off 6 months in,
and as soon as you had Rico next to Kuznov, so he had a bit of pace to his left and a bit of an aggressive defender to his left, he looked miles better in a couple of games recently. So I think Rico in part was left hanging out to dry because he was getting no support on the right hand side of the centre of our defence. So when he was out of position attacking, we were massively exposed. Whereas I think when Kuznov plays, Rico looks like he can slide into midfield and Kuznov's got him covered.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would let Kevin go. I know that will upset people. I know that will upset a lot of people. But I'll be straight with you. I don't say in a world where you keep Mamouche, Foden, Wirtz, KDB, Echeverri if you want to keep him, all are happy campers. Because yes, you're all going to say rotation. Even with all them players, rotation is only going to get you so far.
But the interesting thing, Martin, is why, for me, it would be why De Bruyne would want to stay, because he's not staying for footballing, playing the most match reasons. He's not staying for money reasons because he can go to the US. So he's staying for Manchester reasons, as in about the club or about his kids being settled or about, loving the weather or something, because most of the reasons for him to stay that most players will be talking about probably aren't there at sea. So it is interesting if he chose to do that, knowing he'd be back up to Wirtz, knowing he'd be earning less money, he must really love that Mancunian drizzle on his, pale, Belgian complexion. Because
he is a big ambassador for the SPF 50 community. So
he'd really be picking Manchester over San Diego or Saudi Arabia, which would be interesting.
I'm not, I'm just one of them of. No, I think people have been on the sentimental side of it. We're doing this sentimentality bit. We're back in a row where no one wants anyone to leave but 3 players. And when you say, who do you want to leave? They all go, Nunes, Kovacic, Grealish. We're not going to sign 6 players and sell 3.
Martin, can I ask you a question, though? Has what happened with Kyle Walker sort of concerned you with KDB?
Majorly.
So then it's also a sympathy thing for you as well.
I'm telling you now, KDB doesn't perform next year in any of the games he stays in, this fan base will come down like a ton of bricks. You saw him after the Liverpool game happened. David Silva never got treated that way. Guerrero never got treated that way. Zabaleta never got treated that way. The thing is, no one was clamoring for David Silva to have another year. Everyone was happy to let David Silva go off into the sunset and enjoy.
Do you know, in some ways, Martin, I think that reflects the change in our fan base in part. In that, I think David Silva. No, I think David Silva signed, and you know, just before we started to really become that team that attracted fans because we're winning stuff. So I think Company, Zabaleta, Silva, almost even Aguero, you could almost say, almost from that generation before where they became real heroes. And you know, David Silva would be forgiven anything. You know, same with Aguero, Company. I think De Bruyne came that little bit later, and I don't think there's quite the same love for De Bruyne and Haaland and, you know, Gundogan and the players today. I don't think there's quite the same love there was for Zaba and Silva, who I think were the last generation to get that real loyalty and love from you know, the fan base that came back from Division 2. I think De Bruyne is a player of the next generation, the next level of Manchester City, and so I don't think we'll be quite as sad when De Bruyne goes as when Silva went. And I think the fans are more likely to turn on De Bruyne, whereas I don't think they would have ever turned on Silva. I've got an extra 10 minutes now. There you go. past. There's been a delay.
Listen, I know it's a subjective thing, and I know everyone will be very different. But if you want to keep Bernardo, Gundo's going to get an extension. KDB, there's that bit. We can't just keep everyone on the bench.
And it all depends on the offers, Martin, as well. Like,
well, exactly. You know. By the way, these are only rumours today. According to City Extra earlier, City haven't even spoke to him yet. See how is it different? I'm not sure. How is it different? I know you're thinking the Club World Cup. But I'm just... I don't want to do this sentimentality stuff. And I think we are being a bit sentimental. We've gone from selling 7, 8, 9 players to selling 2 or 3 now. Nobody wants to let anyone go again.
I think, Martin, you have to let yourself have one sentimental player you won't let go under any circumstance. And that can be
mine's John Stones.
Any of them.
You know,
mine's John Stones. Mine's John Stones. John Stones stays.
Yep.
And honestly, John Stones goes.
Stones.
I've
all in favour of Stones say aye.
Yeah. I've made peace that anyone else can go within reason. Obviously not the younger lads, but anyone else can go with the old brigade. But Stones has to stay. And that has meant that I have to maybe accept Nathan Ake going if we want to get rid of one of our 2 permacrocs.
Well, here's one theory.
But I do think Ake could be good left back.
Foden's not a winger, Samir. Foden does not want to play wing. Echeverri won't play. How do we know he won't play? How are we going to know if he's good enough if he doesn't play?
I think he'll play.
Echeverri will be slowly bedded in. It's just like an Alvarez situation. He's just played a full 12 months in South America plus the under-20s. He will slowly be bedded in.
That's what I'm saying.
You might see him. I think by the end of the season, you might see him on the pitch about 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times.
Alvarez, when you look at it, wasn't slowly bedded in. Alvarez was playing game because I remember, saying, "Oh, maybe he'll play a bit," and most of the channel was saying, "Oh, he's going to be really slowly bedded in over a year." I mean, he played 50, 60 games in that bedding in season. So Alvarez was not bedded in. He was right in the deep end. And I think Echeverri will be the same. If Pep looks at him and doesn't think he's ready, he'll probably be shipped off to Girona for a year. If Pep looks at him and thinks you're ready to play, he'll be in the matchday squad in 2 weeks, and Pep will make that call. He'll watch him in training. He'll see how fit he is, see how hungry he is, see how intense he is, and see his quality. And I don't think any of us know, because I think the truth is that Echeverri could be anything from starting in the next round of the FA Cup to not starting for us till 2026.
No, I don't. I think
and
he's the strongest team against Bournemouth, Rich, but we'll get down that road.
Well, I thought that against Plymouth, mate.
No, I mean, yeah, but Bournemouth away is a very different kettle of fish. Very different.
I couldn't agree more. I think they will be playing their strongest team, because I think winning. There's some teams in this FA Cup, Brighton, Bournemouth, really good teams who've never won it, who will be absolutely desperate to win it. So I think there's some really hard games in the FA Cup.
Take City out of it. It's a very open competition this year.
David Mack says KDB won't accept 150 a week when Gundo came back to be a bit power player on 230 a week. It's a good point. Well, no, the rumor was, David, the report was 150 basic with a hefty bonus. So I can imagine him getting back close to his 400k a week on bonuses, though. They'll put his basic down and then heavily sort of invest in his bonuses and things like that. Yes, the news is tonight that does want Bayern, not us, but Bayern, Leverkusen don't want to sell to Bayern. So God knows what's going to happen. Do I think Gundo and Bernardo stay? I think both of them stay, yeah. I think both of them stay.
But I really hope Gundo stays and gets involved a lot more behind the scenes, because I think Gundo can be a really good influence at the club. And I think, I do think, and I'm not sure he's quite ready for it yet, but I think Pep needs a new assistant. I think we need... No, and I'm saying Lilo stays.
I'm fully with you, mate. I personally think he's been part of the problem.
I think Lilo stays, but he stays in a slightly more background role, and we need someone with a bit of a stronger opinion to argue with Pep. What
we're thinking. We want Rodolfo Borello back. That's what we want. Basically, we want everybody back except for Mikel Arteta. We want the whole Centurions backroom staff.
No, I think
given next season that they're doing a rebound from losing the league.
Yeah, Arteta coming back as an assistant would be hilarious.
Yep. Oh God.
Announcing on the Arsenal TV, I'm leaving for the bigger job. Assistant at City.
No, I'm leaving for the bigger job of that second in charge at City.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. I would complain about that at all. But I think we need. I think Gundo could be in a few years, a number two.
Can I say this? Just I think Neil's made a great point here. KDB isn't fully fit, but maybe he will be next season. So if he's fully fit next season, and you get Liverpool away, Arsenal at home, Real Madrid away, and you want to buy Florian Wirtz, surely you're going to play Florian Wirtz. So KDB's on the bench. It's whether now KDB's happy to do that role.
And in part, it may depend on the game. For me, De Bruyne wouldn't have made us any worse. He'd have probably made us slightly better in against an opponent like Real Madrid. But in a game where it's an intense midfield battle, all about energy and pace, etc., he's going to be a liability. So I don't know. I think there's some of those games he could play, but he certainly would be. There's nothing to say he won't play in the same game as Wirtz at times. But I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is getting Wirtz or someone equivalently as good, and then whether people stay as backups to me is secondary, and that will then come down to them making compromises on financials, because the big chunk of salaries going on Wirtz if we sign him, and so we've then only got so much to pay the others.
He was a couple of games away, John. He had to get 60%. See, if you listen to Pep's press conference, he kind of indicated that there was there's not going to be as many of these departures as what maybe we're thinking. Now, obviously, it's above Pep's pay grade, that, because that will come down to Biana and Soriano on whether these go out or not, actually. Because, I don't think Pep will get a full say on whether they go out. I think if they get an offer for Gundogan and it's 20 million, I think the club may take it, and Pep's like, okay. I think we'll have to wait and see. I think Pep would like to keep them all. If you listen to what he said about John Stones, he said, especially in that Neil Warnock one, he said John Stones was my first signing. And not only that, is it next year? Is it 10 years?
Yep.
It'd be very un-City-like to then do the sentimental. That's what I mean. He's out of contract in 2026. I think City will just let him go out on a free in 2026.
I think you have to factor in the salary and the quota. Sort of not saves him, but it is a factor that will keep him around. I think
this summer's going to bamboozle a few. I think it's going to really, because I think people are going to expect a lot of movement, which I think there will be. But I don't think it's going to be as drastic as some may think it will be.
Yeah, Lizzie's got a point here, and I've said this before. I think Bernardo at the end of next season goes to.
That's what I mean. Bernardo and Stones are both 2026 on the contract.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's who's going to pay him with 12 months left, especially when he's injured.
Stones is the next buzzer. He's staying till he's at least 80.
Oh God, yeah. He'll be in Sydney for trophy tours and.
Yeah, he will be.
You wouldn't get a lot of money for Stones, John. That's what we're saying. He's got 12 months left. He's played 1,000 minutes this season. No one's going to pay any real money for him.
We've made all the money
back. Go on a free and let him do his 10 years.
And Martin, we've made all the money back from the 50 mil we bought from him in 2016 anyway. So anything we get from him is a profit. I think. I do. I just honestly think you'll see out his career in the City. If his injury history improves next season, I think he's earned the right to be in a position similar to Fernandinho, where it was like we can go at your pace. If you want to renew for another year, let's just do that year by year by year. And then once you feel like you don't think that you can compete in Europe anymore or in England, then you can move back home or you can move elsewhere.
We saw in the couple of games he stayed fit. I've got to drop, but we saw in the couple of games he stayed fit, he's still our best defender by an absolute.
I hate this question, Rich.
What?
Answer that before you go.
No. I mean, Noah knows the answer, not Noah won't answer it.
You shouldn't answer it. It's ridiculous.
It's not bad.
Yeah. No, there's certain things that
loyalist, and you're just telling him no.
No, he can stay, even if he's just managing the fishing ponds out by
If he gets a job just dressed up as Manchester, it's fine. Like he's not leaving.
Yeah, Bill Foden is not getting sold, so we need to vibe. And I know that's what some will want. He's not. This is what I mean. Some are expecting this massive 180 summer. We're not going to go that drastic.
Yeah, Stones and Foden
Field out and bringing a whole one in.
Yeah, Stones and Foden are staying. Anyway, I better go, but night all.
Cheers, Rich. Speak to you soon, mate.
Cheers.
All right, mate.
KDB will be focused on his last World Cup. Now, that's what I will say this, by the way. Conway said to me, he's probably listening, and he'll message me later about this if he's listening. Conway said John Stones and Nathan Ake should retire from international football. And I went, bullshit, it's the biggest thing. Do you know what? I've done a 180 because
it's a good shout. No, it's a good shout.
I think they both should retire. So big up Conway for that. I think they both should retire. John Stones and Ake from international duty.
Yep. With all due respect to Ake for the Dutch team, I think he's just getting in the way of some young defender coming through.
Samir, do you have a choice? Of course they have a choice.
Well, Samir, the thing is that when you look at the history with Bayern and selling and buying players, especially the history with Dortmund, is usually Dortmund have been a sort of club that, obviously it's very heavily, fan base related and heavily fan owned club and things like that with that 50-50 rule, whatever it's called, 50+1. But at the same time too, for a lot of years, they've had a lot of financial issues as well too.
And sometimes to actually to get over those financial issues, they've actually had to do agreements with Bayern where they'll either agree that they'll just run down the contract, or they'll just take the market value and then just wipe the slate clean with it and just send him on a free. And then Bayern don't have to pay anything, or Bayern basically clear any sort of debts, because they've actually been loaning money to clubs like Dortmund in history as well too. Lewandowski is an example. Mario Götze is an example. I know that there's a couple of others that I'm missing as well too, but they're the ones that stand out for me the most. Leverkusen are in a position right now where they're not financially sound, but they're very strong. They're financially very strong. They won't want to be in a position where they'll have to compromise and sell their best players to their biggest rivals in the league. I think the days of monopolizing the Bundesliga they're not over for Bayern, but they're not the same as what they used to be. And I know for a fact Wirtz, you look at it and like you would have to say like, yeah, Wirtz's head's going to be turned by Bayern because they're going to offer him the big thing like you're going to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, you're going to the biggest club in Germany, you're going to be the poster child for German football for the next 10 years and things like that. And that's what they do to a lot of players. In my opinion, I think that's what they did to Sane. They tapped him up without indirectly tapping him up, basically. They turned his head, and if it wasn't for an injury, he would have left 12 months earlier. But I think at the end of the day, I think with Wirtz, it's like, I think if City want to get him through the door, I think we need to spend just as much time with Wirtz trying to persuade him to come to City as much as we are trying to persuade Leverkusen that he would be the best, that his best option would be to come to us. I think deep down in terms of a business mode, if there is talks with Wirtz, I think Leverkusen are more than happy to sell with us because we're willing to do good business with them. We may even send McAtee the other way. We don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I think there's always going to, for a German player, there's always going to be the lure, or the head's going to be turned by Bayern Munich because of the influence that they have on German and European football. So again, I think we're going to be in a little bit of a battle for him come the summer. But we'll just have to wait. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Forgot Bob's going to be fighting for minutes as well. Thank you, BB. Great point, that one. But by the way, Julie makes a good point. Some will leave. I imagine Kovacic goes, Mateus Nunes goes, McAtee goes. That's your midfield room that you can get people in. I think Gundo Bernardo stay. And then maybe you can add one more for a Kovacic Nunes replacement, maybe, because you've already got Nico. Don't forget Rodri's back, or will be back by the end of the season. I know everyone's going to go on the if but maybe he's had an ACL. Well, look at Van Dijk. Recovered out of his ACL very well, answer. So let's not all look at doom and gloom, and Rodri might be never the same Rodri again. We can't always look on the worst case scenario. Think about the other side. Someone's asking if Rodri's not a winger, he's not a creator. What is that? A damn good player. And the thing with Foden is Foden's had a bad season by his standards, but one bad season doesn't make him a bad player. There's too much recency bias going on at the minute. Nobody last season was saying this about Foden. And for a poor season to get double digits in goals and 5 or 6 assists for a shit season, he's not bad.
Man, that's what I've been questioning, mate. I've been saying, like, why has 4 or 5 months of bad form made the last 4 or 5 years completely obsolete for some fans?
That's where football
exactly.
Recency bias. I mean, Mo Salah will quite rightfully win the Ballon d'Or this year, but the trouble is, everyone's now saying Mo Salah's the greatest footballer in world history, and we're now forgetting everything. I was having this chat in a space the other day, and someone was saying, you couldn't talk about, it was Liverpool's ever greatest player, and someone said, no, well, that's Kenny Dalglish, and they went, no, well, who's Kenny Dalglish? And that's the trouble with
generational
25 football fans now. They don't want to talk about 20 years. They don't want to talk about 20, 30 years ago. I got told City won the league last year, and I got told that was the past. History to everyone now is 6 months ago. And it's a very hard thing to try and navigate into a football debate anymore, because they're either subjective or they're biased, or it's the generational thing. And you can't, and it's temporary. So it's a very hard debate to have now, football. Because the thing is, Liverpool fans are going to back Salah. United fans will back George Best. And we can go in circles like this forever. But even at City, my dad, his generation, Colin Bell. My generation, David Silva. People's generation, Kevin De Bruyne. So we're all going to have different, it's just a subjective thing. It's nice asking what's your favourite ice cream flavour? Some are like Pat and they like a bit of vanilla. Some are like me, they like a bit of Rocky Road. You know what I mean?
That bland.
Well, that's what I mean.
Jesus.
Yeah, we didn't do bad when he came back from an ACL and Van Nistelrooy. I remember when Van Nistelrooy joined from PSV. I don't know if any remember, there was a training video where he got injured in the training and he screamed like a newborn baby. Does anyone remember that video? Because he was meant to sign for United 12 months earlier, but the deal collapsed because he got injured in training for PSV, did his ACL, out for the whole season. Came back and scored goals for fun. Don't get me wrong, they were all 2-yard tap-ins, but he scored a shitload of goals. So not everyone comes back from an ACL like it's the end of the world. I just need to do these Simo Subs. Thank you for renewing for a 14-month, mate. You are a legend and a superstar. Lee Gates with a £2 earlier. He's glad to be back, mate. And Spartacus with a 5 Brazilian there, mate. I'm just back from a street carnival. I've drunk out my mind. I'm guaranteeing that you are doing a treble, FA Cup, Community Shield, and the Club World Cup. And apparently,
I am so bloody jealous. Oh, I did Carnival back in 2012, and it's still one of the greatest experiences I've ever done in my life.
Did you have a litre and a half of vodka, Spartacus? You need to go to hospital, mate. If you had a litre and a half of vodka, go to hospital. Where you need to be going.
That was a slow Tuesday over there for me.
Litre and a half of vodka in one day. That's hospital job.
No, he's probably talking about, because Carnival doesn't go for one day. It goes for quite literally goes for like a whole month. It goes for like a whole month.
That's right. I mean, what's this? Pepsi Max Cherry. See, I'm on the max now. This is 1.5 litre. That just neat vodka. My God. I'd be dead. Is Salah the greatest African footballer? Is it Weah? Some say it's Mahrez. This is what I mean. We'll go around in circles. Rodri may not be the same again, but I think he will. Yeah, I know, but we can't. The board can't look at it that way, Neil. The board can't sit in the same way. The board couldn't sit in a committee meeting in the summer and go, "What if Rodri gets an ACL?"
He's not the same again until he's not the same again. Yeah. You can't be anticipating these things until they happen. Until they happen, it's not worth talking about. Yeah, that's
like City going, well, Haaland might snap his leg. Let's go and spend 100 million on a new striker. They're not going to do that. And I think everyone's got a bit PTSD.
This club was run based on worst case scenarios. We wouldn't have anything to celebrate for the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's just all relaxed.
Yeah.
Age is a major factor in the debate. It's why I hate having the great. Do you know this world-class debate? A world-class player, again, is subjective. Some use stats, some use don't. And it's what metric you want to use. Hussam was in here earlier on. I don't know where he's gone. I wanted to say hello, so I don't know where's he gone. Hussam was here. I don't know where he's gone now. Someone said big up Hussam. Oh, here he is. Big fan of Martin. He's a mass celebrity. I am not a celebrity, mate. Apologies, I couldn't do a show the other day. I was in hospital, as I told you. Pep said he will need a bigger squad. We will. We've already got a squad of 29, though, now, Pardo. But don't forget, we can have a squad of 25 and then fill it out with anyone under the age of 21 and youngsters. Because don't forget, this year, Doku and Gavardio did not have to be included into the Premier League squad because of their age. Next season, they will. So Kushinov and Victor Hayes won't have to be included in the squad, I don't believe, next year. Kushinov, mate. I know Victor Hayes doesn't need to be. And don't forget, people, by the way,
legally, Kusanov was born on a leap year day, February 29th. So he doesn't have to be in the squad. He doesn't have to be in the squad until he's about 84 years old.
So we'll just be going round and round and round in circles. It is, and age a massive factor. I totally agree with that.
Martin, you talk about African players, then another generation will say Roger Miller was the greatest.
Yeah, that's because they did a dance at the World Cup, mate. The thing is, some won't remember that.
Some move better than others.
By the way, there was a debate that I listened to talking about Maradona like he was a bag of shit.
Oh, God.
I'm like, oh. The thing is, he wants to compete and win things. We have a world-class squad like we did back in the treble season. But we didn't have a world-class squad in the treble season. We had workers. We had 3 or 4 top players on form, but we didn't have a squad of world-class. We had a deeper squad in our 100-point season than we did in the treble season for me. Because everyone forgets in that treble season, Joel, we were shit until we hit them Chargers. We were garbage. There's something else I was going to say as well. Oh, everyone's on about buying this Hussan from Bournemouth. Don't forget, we've also bought Juma Barr, who's out on loan. And the plan is he's coming back in the summer. Now, he may go back out on loan again, but we have bought 3 centre-backs. There was talk about Cambiasso. I've been told that's now kind of moved to Livramento. Newcastle are very reluctant to sell Tino Livramento. Cambiasso is still on the list, but Livramento and Frimpong are there as well.
Is there any particular reason why we've sort of gone off Cambiasso? Because he just seemed to fit the bill for the club, like versatile.
I don't know, because
yeah.
I mean, by the way, I thought he was shit today, Livramento. He was at fault for the Brighton goal, for the Welbeck goal. Played them all alongside. Hey, Martin, anything on the Tabas idiot? No, City are going to go to, from what I've heard, reportedly, City are looking at, they're seeking legal advice on it. That's on. They are seeking legal advice. Roger Miller lied about his age.
I wasn't here. No, sorry, I wasn't here when on the show, obviously, when the Tabas thing came out, but I can't help but see the irony of it, where he's talking about obviously the spending and these hidden accounts and all this sort of stuff, and it's like, mate, your league signed off on Atletico, got to be the 3rd biggest club in that league, the 3rd biggest club in that country. Sign off on a massive ownership takeover from the Saudis.
What was the airline called again, Pat?
Is it Riyadh Air or something? Or
Riyadh Air.
Riyadh Air. Yeah. See, Mahrez is doing well for himself. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's just like you're gonna strike down one sort of out of ownership, and then at the same time allow another one to come in. It's like, I get it, talk up your league. That's what you do as a La Liga president. But don't be such a hypocrite where you're saying like City's spending an Arab ownership and things like that. Oh, but I wouldn't mind this coming in from one of our clubs, from the same Gulf region, as they'll call it now. It's like, what are you on about? You absolute flog. And by the way, he looks like Sammy the Eagle from the Muppets too.
Hit the likes. Thank you, Jay, mate. Okay, can go. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. The summer will be the summer. I'm not going to guess who's in and who's out, because the board and Pep may disagree on it. What Pep says in the media may be very different. I'm not 100% sure Wirtz is going to come. Where do you go after Wirtz? All I'm saying about KDB, in fact, KDB wants to stay, no problem. He wants to do it, then fine, no problem. As long as he's okay with being a bit part player. But I'll tell you what, our fan base better not fucking turn on him next season. And you better give him the respect he deserves on the way out. Don't want to see any Kyle Walker shit on KDB.
I'd like to hope that Kevin De Bruyne has enough credit in the bank with some of our fans that they won't do it. Like I can't. I don't have any guarantees of that.
No, but the way Gundogan,
I would like to think so. I know nobody in this group would ever do that, because what he's done for us over the last.
And that's why this community is one of the best, because you are grown up
exactly,
and you won't do that.
The other thing too, Martin, I'm going to go back to this whole football publicity thing as well too, and I've said before, and I've banged my drum all the time about it too, about how I think he'll eventually end up in New York. Now, if he ends up in the MLS, I think it's a good move for him regardless. I still think New York is just a good place for him to go. I've talked about NYC opening their new stadium in Queens in 2027. But I think at the end of the day, it's like football in the United States is going to get a huge publicity injection, coming up with this World Cup in 2026. I mean, they've already had it with Messi come in. And the MLS is getting a lot more publicity than it had in recent years. I think when the World Cup's done and dusted, I think you're going to have to find another way to sort of bring some more publicity, some more global publicity come in for the MLS, for the American game. Kevin De Bruyne coming in after he's finished his contract, after that World Cup's finished, would be huge for them to continue on with that publicity, with that marquee signing coming through as well too. Because by then, we don't know what's happening with Messi. Messi may call time. He may go back to South America. We don't know yet. They're going to have to find another way to get another big marquee signing in. And I think if you look at it, like if KDB stays for another year, so summer 2026 is gone. For him, the MLS season goes by calendar year. Or wait, does it go by calendar year? Yeah, it does. It does. It goes by calendar year. So if he finishes up at City in 2026, he can have another 3 or 4 months. He could go play in the World Cup for Belgium if he wants, and then he can have some time to go and think about what he wants to do. And then if he does decide to go to MLS, then he can in 3 or 4 months' time, when he's had his chance for his body to relax, then he can go and sign for an MLS club. So I think if the talks are with City about him possibly extending for another year, then whatever he chooses to do, and I still personally believe, I think MLS is probably more likely a more likely choice for him to go to after life at City or life in Europe. I think he's got the favor of having a calendar year season at the MLS in his favor, so then he can go and take some time off to decide what he wants to do with his career. Whether he calls time, whether he carries on in the United States, remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm. I'll answer that in a minute, Joe. By the way, I know you've got to leave Blue out, and I'm way behind on comments. Big up, mate. Take care.
Cheers, Blue out.
Yeah, Hussam was just congratulating Hussam on winning the title, because, they deserve it. They've been the best team in England. How many players do I think? Well, this ties in. I just want to finish a little bit on Plymouth, because I know everyone's a bit vanilla on Plymouth game. I was very happy with it. We've got Bournemouth in the next round. It's going to be mega hard. My man of the match was Nico O'Reilly. My overall man of the match was Hazard for Plymouth. Thought he was fabulous.
Hazard carried on his form from when they played Liverpool.
Yeah, big up to the thousands of Plymouth fans. They were magnificent. Cheered their team on. What a journey. Proper hardcore, that lot. And big up to them.
How long was that round trip would have been, Martin?
Oh, what, from here?
No, yeah, from Plymouth to Manchester and back. How long are you talking?
It would have been, it says 4.5 hours, but with a stop, you're probably looking about 10, 11 hours.
Ooh.
So, yeah. But, yeah, and we'll get into that. But what I'm going to do is Dash asked a question about how we're doing a rebuild or not. I'm just going to show some. That complaint from Tebas was in 2020-23. Yes, it was. It was a little bit.
Do you know what makes it even more amusing? The fact that the complaint was made like literally the month after we'd won the treble.
Yeah, of course it would.
It just screams of absolute.
They are now saying it's only against PSG. That means City Lloyd might have been in contact. Cambiasso is the best of these fullbacks mentioned. Yeah, according to Boston, Tebas' complaint didn't even include City, only mentioned PSG. I don't know then. Didn't you say we'll be looking at Frimpong, but not? Yes, that's what I did hear. I'm not. The thing is, Jack, things are changing all the time. This is an ever-changing window. Players will become available in the next few months that might not be available last week. This window is going to move constantly. Look at Arsenal. They went from Zubermendi guaranteed to Joshua Kimmich. This is what happens in this window. Don't want Livramento. Listen.
It's what the Geordie lad said the other week that really put me off Livramento now.
Livramento will be more money than Cambiasso, mate.
Yeah.
More money.
And less versatile.
He's homegrown. He's at Newcastle. And he's younger. And he's just broke in the England team. English tax. He'll be a lot more than Cambiasso. Right, I'm going to do something that we don't normally do. Anything on the tab I see? No, I've ignored that one. Not ignored it. We've just been through it. I'm just going to share this when I can find. No, I don't want that. I want that. I don't want that. Entire screen. There we go. Right. Why is he not doing that? Ah, right, there we go. We're sharing. So, you should now be able to see that. Yeah. Let's double check that's right. Right. You can now see that Manchester City, I've got, there's their thing. So let's go through them. We're going to do a big show on this. Scott Carson, Edison, Ortega. Potential all three go, yeah?
There is a potential. There is a potential. There is a potential.
Right.
I don't think all three, but there's a potential.
Now, here's the thing. Kanja, Ake, Diaz, Gavardio, Kushinov, Lewis, Vic Tays, John Stones. Obviously, these two have gone Kyle Walker and Wilson Esperand. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8 there, plus Juma Bar to come back. Yeah. Maybe you could sell one. If you sell a stock. By the way, you've got a right back coming in as well. So that'll be 10. So maybe you could sell one and get one. I don't know. So it's 1 in, 1 out. Here's where your issue becomes. Oscar Bob, Kevin De Bruyne, if you keep him. Jeremy Doku, Echeverria, Phil Foden. Grealish is likely to go. Gundo at the moment likely to stay. I'm thinking Kovacic gets sold. McAtee gets sold. Nunes gets sold. So then you got 1, 2, 3. So that's where you can bring a midfielder in.
And through all that, Calvin Phillips still stays.
Because even with that, by the way, Calvin Phillips will go. Even say we buy
go on loan again because nobody will want him.
Say we bring in Spike Britt to take over Carson, and you buy Diogo Costa and James Trafford for an example. Yeah.
Yep.
So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The right back will be 12. Add another Juma Bar's 13. 14, Oscar Bob. 15, De Bruyne stays. 16, 17, 18. Grealish goes. Gundogan stays. Kovacic goes.
Still at 18.
McAtee goes.
18.
19, Nico.
Yep.
Nunes goes. O'Reilly
19.
Stays.
20.
Rodrigo stays.
21.
Sabinho, Bernardo,
22,
Erling Haaland,
23,
Omar Mamouche. How many is
25.
that?
20.
So you're at 25.
There's your 25 right there. So it's,
and I've sold 4 players.
Yep.
I've sold, or we have sold.
You're 1 in, 1 out.
Nunes, McAtee, Kovacic, and we sold one of the defenders and 1 in, 1 out. So you're at 25. So to bring in 3 more players, yeah, I've got to go to 28, 29. So that's where Rico Lewis and O'Reilly won't be included, and maybe Kushinov. So you'd have a squad of 25. So you probably have room to bring in 3 without your goalies, probably Verts, a winger. You're probably looking at 5 players in.
Another centre back.
You're looking, Callum Doyle, I think, may get sold. I don't think he makes it. So I think you're looking at 5 in. The kids don't count, but the only kids that don't count, mate, are Rico Lewis and Victor Hayes and O'Reilly. But when you put Samir, we've got 25 with them. You add 4 players, takes you to 29. Take the 3 or 4 players off, you're still at 25, and then you've got 3 additional ones with your kids that don't have to be included in your squad because of their age. So you still are 27, 28, 29. That's where your squad gets bigger because you're buying players and then you're filling the rest out with O'Reilly, Rico, Victor Hayes, and maybe Kushinov. Because I know Doku and Gavadio, they are now going to be added to the squad. So you've got room. You'll have a squad of 25 with enough wiggle room back. But that's only buying 4 players. And I've sold Nunes, Kovacic. It was the other one, McAtee, and there was one more.
One of the defenders.
I think Mabamba will get sold or loaned. Jamal Puza.
Man, given where that under 23 squad is in the Premier League, we'll see another 50 to 100 million come in sales of them.
Yeah,
we will.
No, I don't think we need a forward. Don't think they'll buy a forward. You won't be able to keep them all FIFA. By the way, happy birthday, mate! I didn't realise it was your birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday, mate! Yeah.
Have a lovely. You've had a lovely day. We haven't got that many kids, mate. Should we get Morata for striker? I don't think we buy a striker.
Then, if we can get a midfielder in that cannot be used as an attacker in a pinch, then so be it. That's just more for the depth.
Is Juma going to be getting into the first team? We don't know, Dash. Plan is right now. They'll decide.
Very raw. He's very raw talent.
But
then again, talking about Juma Bar, we said the same thing about Kuznov and Victor Hayes, particularly Kuznov. We said they're still very, very raw, but they've done what I've said before with when defenders come into Pep's squad. A lot of our defenders, they hit the ground running.
Everyone's saying Juma Bar's too raw and young. Then why is Victor Hayes and Kuznov playing?
No, I know. I was just thinking to myself, it's like you could say Juma Bar is raw. But then you should say the same thing about Kuznov. Kuznov has just hit the ground running. He's done something. He's done similar to what Ruben Diaz did in his first season with us. People think like it's time to bet in, but what you don't understand is with defenders. I think with defenders, it is quite an easy job under Pep because I think they still have to keep a simple job of just zonal defending. You know, just being in the right place for the passing lanes. And you just move forward, and then obviously just defending is just holding your line at the right time, and I think that's what makes the job of defending a lot easier than what it is, say, being a midfielder or an attacker when in a Pep squad. I just think there's just so many of our defenders that have come through have just seemed to hit the ground running like straight away when they've come in. Kuzanov's done it. Ruben Diaz did it. Laporte. You know, I know he was a January signing, but he certainly wasn't terrible in his first 6 months at City. You know
how many games? Do you know how many minutes Kuznov had played?
When he was at Lens.
Mm-hmm. He played 811 minutes last year. Yeah, in the league.
As in, like the calendar year, or the first half of this season.
The 23-24 season, he made a total of 16 appearances, and last season. On this season coming up, he made a total of 13 appearances.
Right.
14. So he hadn't had a lot of minutes himself.
See,
we ain't getting Trafford back.
Pep's just gone out there, told him just this is all you need to do, and that's what he's doing.
Still a buyback. There's still a buyback, Steve. Calvin Phillips, no. See, I want Cover to stay. This is the beauty of it. Someone's going to end up being unhappy this summer.
Yeah.
Keep Nunes. Nunez Carson ain't going not in this window. See how it is because he's
That will be a meltdown if Carson leaves. If Carson leaves, then that'll be
Carson 41,
that's a justified meltdown. That is completely justified.
Carson will be going, mate.
Yeah, that'll be the one show we aren't happy, Clappy.
You've got to sell. You can't keep them all FIFA, then you can't buy anyone.
He wants Cancelo back.
Yeah, you've got to buy.
He wants Mangala back. He wants Otamendi back.
Gosh, stop. You know they're not going to go urgently. I know you can say that, but you know above all, that's not the plan. Martin, is there a way we can get a Trent? No.
Connor, we know Martin wants Costa. He also wants the keeper, but can I ask you a question, Matt? Can I ask you a question? If the goalkeeping kit next season looks half decent and Costa comes, will you be buying that shirt and then wear it every time you go through for your for your evening latte? Look at me shirt. Where's my discount?
Who pictures me? Yeah, play with
it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Probably say Kushner or Gabardio. You've had really good months.
I'm going to give it a Kushner.
10 hours with the foot down. With the foot down. Nino. I'll be honest, I can't see him turning down generational wealth for a little game time over staying in Manchester. I know he's at San Diego.
Yeah, they were the ones publicly that were showing the most interest.
I know they've left the European spot open for him because their season's already started or has just started. So we'll see.
Still don't care for soccer, but it is still the most played sport by kids in the States, though. I don't know. I think soccer in the States is still suffers a little bit in the same way football suffers here in Australia, where you've got several sporting codes that are always going to get the media publicity and hype over them than what football ever will.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. I don't like coffee or anything better. I always prefer a hot chocolate.
Marshmallows. Marshmallows, marshmallows.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Dash. You know they're not looking at it, so see, everyone's like, yeah. They're just coming up with all the wish lists. Martin prefers a Costa Rica.
Costa hot chocolate. I'll give it a go when I'm over in a couple of weeks. Oh yes, by the way, I will be over for Brighton at home.
Oh, is that confirmed now?
Yes, confirmed.
Oh, I need to send you this one.
I'm in the South Stand as well too. 116. So if anybody's going to be in 116, let me know.
Heads up! In 5 minutes, we will be doing the draw for this little beauty. You do need to be a subscriber to be in it to win it. I want Costa Covered to stay, Nunes to go, and for us all to either. I don't think we'll sell either of them. If Carson leaves, I down till and become a Wolves fan. Jesus, DC.
Should become a Wolves fan if Kimmich ended up there.
We might be able to make it up with youngsters. It depends who we look at. Calvin will never play. No, Calvin's never played for us again. Kushner, Savio, Hayes, Lewis, O'Reilly. Savio. It's their age.
23 or 24, I think.
He's 20. Age registration.
Oh shit, he's 20. He'll be 21 in April.
Right, under 21 players. So
Right.
for the 24-25, So anyone born after the 1st of January, they've got to have been born on or after the 1st of January 2024, 2004. So when was he born? He was born. Yeah, he'll be all right then. So Savio won't need to be included in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Still doesn't mean though, mate, that we're just going to go and buy loads of Samir. We're not going to go and buy 10 players. He's not going to go to a squad size of 35, Samir. Because it's still bodies.
Martin, if we sign Verts, he'll be 22.
You've still got a 25-man squad,
Yeah.
Samir. You've still got 25. With them, Kushinov, Savio, Hayes, Barr, Lewis and O'Reilly, Echeverry, yeah. Because I said you'll have a squad about 29. So it's about right, yeah.
Martin, what age was it? It cuts off again with the age where then have to be
Under 21.
Okay, no, Verts is already 21. He'll be 22 in May.
1st of November, 1st of January 2004.
Okay, no, Verts was born about 9 months before that.
I don't know. I have no idea about McCasker. Don't know at all. If we're not able to sign Swerts, who would you see? That I don't know. But that's the $1 million question.
Maybe Baena or Villarreal.
The winger more.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're going to be looking at a Sudakov, Xavi Simmons. You give it. I think. By the way, Echeverry might be a wild card in all this. You know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you will sell as many uncles as people think. I'm thinking, this is just my opinion, I think Stones and Aki stay, Gundogan stay. I think Kovacic, Nunes go.
McAtee.
I think Bernardo stays. Oh, that's where you going with this. By the way, I know what you mean. Just maybe word it a little bit different. But I know what you mean, Dash. The only thing I will say, we are getting very hung up on ages. 29 and 30 is like too old. And everyone's going, I want a squad. They're not going to go Chelsea. They're not just going to have a squad of 21, 22-year-olds.
On 8-year contracts.
Yeah, they're not going to play that game. Pep is still going to want experience. Because when you're in that semi-final at Real Madrid and a bunch of kids have just shit themselves because they don't know what they're doing in there, you need a captain to stand up and go, right, boys, this is what we need to do. Calm, relax. That ain't going to work if everyone's 2022. You know what I mean? You still need a little bit of grey matter up here. Experience is vital in certain parts of the season. Yeah, like Kovacic, that's what I mean. Problem is, some players, this is what I mean. Our squad is already huge now. Our squad is at 29 players already with the youngsters. Like I said, Kovacic is not even getting in. Kushinov didn't get in yesterday. And you've got to manage them. You can't just send them out back. They're still on a wage. Some will be into appeal wanting to keep unks or selling all of them. Yeah, it's a crazy one. Anyway, right. Anything you want to add, Pat, before we do the prize draw, mate?
Not necessarily. Just happy result. You know, it was a good, good victory given the circumstances. We were underdogs. You know, so yeah. But yeah, it's just going to be weird. It's just going to be weird now. We're just regularly playing only every 7 days, but you know.
Yeah, it's really weird. We've got no midweek games now.
Yeah, we've got one or two, I think, by the end of the season, but that's about it, really.
Yeah, that's really freaky.
And
a bit scary.
Oh, we've got a bloody international break coming up too this month as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna drag it even more.
Right, come on, we're at 154 likes. I am going to check because I did put a poll out beforehand, and I did ask, have you hit the likes and subscribe button? 88% have said yes. 12% have said they haven't done it. Nota. I'm with Frozen. I don't know why. Are we frozen?
You're just a little bit choppy there, but you're okay now.
Yeah. Why have I gone shopper? I'm frozen again. That's weird.
And this is the same Martin, ladies and gentlemen, that thinks I live in the Stone Age over here.
Should have reworded it. You're going to say you've not had a drink as well, have you, today? You're not on a litre and a half of vodka. As long as it's the club that's doing the rebuild and not us fans. Jesus, could you imagine the fans doing the rebuild, Julie? Wow. Right. Big up to Professional Idiot with a gifted 10 memberships. Thank you if you've been gifted the 10 memberships, as well as Simo Subs for renewing for a 14th month. You've made someone very, very happy.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
Thank you so much to the legends that are Legacies, Simo Subs, Spartacus, and Professional Idiot as well. I did forgot to mention this. Did start this early? Good question. Lakshmi has asked, we need to make a decision. Someone's got an injury centre back. What do you think about Dean Huijsen at 50 million euros? I like him. I need to see more of him. This is his breakout season. I think I need to see a bit more than 1 year. It's a bit like Belabor for me. 50 million's at a price that's worth a gamble. But still kind of a bit unsure with it. I like to see more than just a year. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start doing a bit of scouting on the old Diogo Costa.
I bet he's got a bit of a bozo gene in him too.
Have you seen it though? There's a database you can get to. Someone was telling me this safe yesterday. No, Daniela was telling me in a space yesterday. I think Nobbins has used this database as well. And the two, statistically, for distribution and saves, the two top goalkeepers in the world of football right now are Chevalier and Diogo Costa.
Well, Chevalier speaks French, obviously, so he'd be a good communicator to Kushinov.
He got man of the match yesterday, and he let 4 goals in. Mate, I won't figure out.
How many did he save?
I don't know. He got man of the match.
He must have saved 20. He must have done like a Tim Allen World Cup.
Homegrown, maybe. But there's Matt Gay. The trouble is, Matt Gay is going to be about 70 million quid. And even though he's only got 12 months left, the reason why he's going to be a lot of money still, because there's going to be a shit lot of takers for him. And while
he'll want to play every game like he does at Palace.
The
so
trouble is,
Palace
is going to be sat there, 12 months left in his deal. Do you know why they can turn 70 million down? Because they'll get that in the summer. Because there'll be 4 or 5 clubs will come for him. And
I think Newcastle will be back in for him.
Yeah, we are trying to hit 6K, which would be amazing. Right. Save 7 pounds. Right, let's have a look. Make sure you are, I thought it was Nobbins. It was Chevalier. Chevalier. Smell the fresh air. Why not keep Edison? Because he wants a shit ton of money.
He want them bags.
Bloody hell. FIFA, you don't want anyone to leave, do you? Got to keep everyone, did you say? Right. Let's do the giveaway.
Let's go.
Now, couple of rules on this. If you are not in the UK and you win it, I will sort you out on Amazon. and send it to you. Why? Because it's damn cheaper. It's cheaper for me to buy it you on Amazon in your country and have it posted to your house. If someone in the UK wins it, I can send it tomorrow or probably more Tuesday. First class recorded. You will need to sign for it, so make sure you're in.
I know firsthand, everybody, because our last winner happens to live in Melbourne, and now all of a sudden my holidays turn into being I'm no longer on holiday. I'm Martin's errand boy.
Patty's my go-between for the 5K winner. 5K winner. 5K winner.
Bloody North Stand scum.
So you've missed me, haven't you? You all missed me. That's why the fucking numbers are low.
They've missed you. They've missed you like a stone in the shoe, you prat.
They've missed me, but from this distance, they're booking it, man. Right, anyway, let's get it on. Whoa, not like that. Calm down, DC. Right, tells you something when everyone's got to get half pissed to come and enjoy this show. Spartacus and Darcy like,
where's the other half?
Right, where am I at? Oh, where the frig's it gone? My randomizer. Someone said they were going to do me. I don't know who it was. Someone was going to do me a database, and they haven't done it.
Yeah, no offense to any new members, but Martin's kind of hoping that you don't win, so he doesn't have to spend ages on his Excel spreadsheet.
Someone was doing me an Excel spreadsheet,
yeah,
but they haven't done it.
Yeah, so if you're at 100 or above, basically Martin's telling you to piss off. Just go sign up to LB's channel.
Yeah, Pat was, I'll do you an Excel spreadsheet.
Sorry?
Was it you?
No, no.
Who was it then? Have I just slagged off someone in the community and not really?
Probably.
I do apologise.
And they're probably a high number as well. They're probably a high number as well, too. So you've just, yeah.
I've just proper pissed them off.
Yeah,
right, there are 303 members, active members. So we're just going to, we have gone down a little bit. I do apologise about that. I can't help that. I can only go off what it is.
This is the most challenging Mahjong game, designed for Mahjong lovers.
That's always a challenge.
Sorry, we're just having a an ad. Oh, Spartacus was going to do it, but he got too busy getting pissed on 1.5 liters of vodka.
Hey, fair play to him still being able to communicate with us. Some people should be dead.
Right. You ready?
Good luck.
Let's go.
$174.
174. Well, City fan.
Do you need a minute?
Pat, entertain them.
So you haven't got a like one of those intervals yet, you know. We'll be right back. Elevator music.
Fucking damn right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 3, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right, the winner is, and I'm hoping he's actually, if not, Steve Lewis, MCFC. Steve Lewis, MCFC, has won the Pep Guardiola autobiography. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Pep Guardiola, Pep Revolution is going to wing its way to you when you send me your address. Privately, don't do it on here. So, Steve Lewis, you know who he is. He goes on LB's channel. Oh, that's the spread. He has won it. Steve Lewis, MCFC. If he has already got it, we will send him out a new one. He's watching LB. Is LB live? Is LB bloody live?
Don't know. Hang on.
Little sort. Is he live?
No. Hang on. No, he's not live. No, he did just post recently another Saeed rant.
Football function. Let's see who's available now. We can do a little raid on who's available. Who's available for a little read? Let's see. Let's see who's live.
I know Northside's live at the moment.
Is Sam live? See, because I don't know who's going to be live because a lot of them are fasting, aren't they?
Mm.
So now they'll all be eating. They'll be breaking fast.
Yep.
No, Footy Judge Mo's not live. NAF never enough live. They've just screamed. They've just finished.
Oh, Daps messaged me earlier saying he's going to do a show around this time tomorrow. So if you're around,
I'm on Tuesday.
Okay.
Why are you going out?
Yeah, he said he was going to do a show after hours tonight, but then he said he was busy coming back from somewhere, so he said he was going to push it 24 hours later.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So there is no one there, so we'll leave it there. There's no one live. I'll just check. Yeah, no one's live. Is Alan live?
Not in a way that you would want to say.
Alan needs locking up. Simo Subs, thank you for the gifted 5, mate. You are a legend, sir. Thank you so much. Let you know on Tuesday night, the episode 5 of Martin Talks will be back. I won't be on lead judges tomorrow because I'm going to hospital in the morning. Just to clarify some of my meds, things like that. Again, thank you so much for all the amazing messages, DMs. The support has been outstanding. So on Tuesday, we'll do an episode. I will be on the South Stand early. On Tuesday, we'll do something. Tone was due on tonight, but he had to help his daughter do some work for exams. So we'll try and get Tone on Tuesday. No. Somewhere, I don't know. We'll see. We'll try and get Tone on this week.
I'll be around. I've got a favourable work schedule too, so I can be around for midweek.
There you go. You're around on Thursday?
No. I'm back on the OT bandwagon.
So you see, you can't come and talk about Chris Wood.
I know, but then again, you know, at least I've got more spending money so I can talk about it to you in person at Brighton. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Just let you know, I am going away in April, May, and July. I'm away those 3 months. Not the whole month. I'm having April, I'm going away to Caravan for 4 nights for the full weekend. May, I'm going to Tenerife after the season's ended. And in July, I'm going to Turkey. So I am out of here. I'm going to have a very well-earned rest after a very stressful season. During the summer, we will be having a extended break. I know everyone's going to get excited about transfers. We'll do some Club World Cup stuff, then that's it. In July, we're gone.
Yeah, Martin, I'm more than happy to, you know, this is something I was going to say off camera, but I'm sure we can talk about it now. But like, you know, with the Club World Cup, there's something we can look forward to now, you know, in the coming months. But fortunately for us, like over here, that'll actually be at a very favorable time. You know, that usually like mid-morning. It'll probably be around about this time of the day that we're having right now. So, you know, if we can do some interactions and some live stuff, you know, I'll be more than happy to get involved with that. So, yeah, we'll just, if you want to take a break and, you know, I can interact with the channel and with people and that, I'm more than happy to do that. So going forward, you know, these are some interesting things and fun things that we can do because sure, this is a tournament we want to win, but at the same time, too, I think everybody's just going to enjoy it for what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing I want to say, next season, we need to have a bit of niceness with each other. I saw JSGC get a load of shit this morning. Can we stop?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I don't know what's going on. It's
the
crazy.
same people. JSGC is such a good guy too. Those people that want to give him shit are the same ones that will be begging for him during July and August, saying, "What have you heard? What's the transfer news? Who are we going to sign?" You know, because he does such good in-depth analysis of all the headlines about who we could possibly sign. And yet those same people will just slag him off. Will be demanding, "Please tell me what you've heard." I feel bad for the kid.
Do you know what? I get a load of messages about that.
Transfers this, transfers that. Yeah.
I get, honestly, about 50% of my messages. Have you heard anything?
Well, you are the ITK.
It's fine. Yeah. I can't always say, I'm not always going to say yes or no. I'm not that. I keep saying I'm not the ITK. Someone else is. I just get the info.
The problem is you know a little bit more than everybody else, so that labels you an ITK. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes just a little bit more knowledge than the average Joe makes you an ITK to some people. That's the problem.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
What happened was, same as me and Tone just got some nasty messages sent to him. And Jay's a top lad.
Yeah.
Have a great carnival. Yeah, mad Spartacus. Stay safe.
So jealous of Spartacus.
We will.
Because I've been there, mate. I've done the one in Rio. It's mental.
Manchester's there as well. So go and enjoy yourself, guys.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Appreciate that. We are going to do a space. We'll kick it off at 11:15. Give me half an hour to go and something to eat. Saw my parents. Have a little yogurt. I'm on yogurt.
Top up your Costa.
No, I'm on yogurts. Oh, by the way, sugar-free caramel syrup in your coffee. Skinny latte, sugar-free caramel.
See, all these additives you have to put into rubbish coffee. Meanwhile, we've got the best baristas. We've got the best baristas in the world over here, so we don't need to worry about that triple treated coated maple toffee bollocks. Yeah,
skinny, sugar-free caramel. Mwah. Beautiful. None of that shit in my body. No sugar in my body. It's all natural. Skinny milk, skim milk, 0% milk with fat-free, sugar-free stuff. Really good. And I'm back on my Caesar salad. Oh, I had a lovely...
said, take a chill pill. I want it to be take a chill pill, but it doesn't mean that we have to be bloody a Centurion season levels of league form to do so.
Yeah.
I don't want... We need to be miles ahead of everybody for it to be the chill pill.
Yeah. Can we just enjoy the season next year?
Yes.
I can't... Honestly, I'm going to say this out loud. I can't do, and I don't think anyone else can on this channel, we can't do another season like this. And I don't mean for results. We're not okay with losing, but we're not going to do this back and forth slagging each other off bullshit. I'm not doing that for 2 years running. I would rather end the channel than go back down that road again. I'm not doing it a second year. I'm not doing death threats and meet me outside the stadium and you're an Aussie wanker. I'm not doing it anymore. Just, we've got to have a bit more respect with each other next year. I really hope this season has made some of us a little bit more humble.
Who's calling you an Aussie wanker?
No, what you and Rich get.
Oh, really? Yeah.
What yogurt? Muller Light.
The problem you have is people don't understand. If you're going to go and call me an Aussie wanker, the problem you have is I've worked in the airline industry for about 18 years. I've heard it all before. One thing you learn in that industry is you develop a very, very thick skin. You can't call me an Aussie wanker online when I hear 10 times worse almost on a daily basis at a bloody airport.
Yeah. No, and that's just when he's going down with the shot. Any nuts? Nuts before takeout? Cream and sugar? Yes, sir. Can you put it in the overhead bin? Thank you very much.
Can you do that again for us?
No.
It's all right. Clip it up, everybody. We'll have that for intros next season.
Martin, don't call Pat that. Ping pong. Yes, madam. How can I help you? My name's Patrick. I will help you today. You could say that, Lena.
It's funny he says because I've never ever worked as a flight attendant. I've never worked as a flight attendant. No, I swear.
Who do you believe, Lena? Get back now. Oh, shit. Oh, what Pat's saying, he's up your game. It's Mancunian therapy. Oh my God, me and Hamza don't mix. No, you two don't. You don't. You don't. Bitch, be humble. Sit down. I mean, I wasn't quite putting it like that, Dash. Yeah, I know sugar free.
That's Haaland stay humble after dark. Bitch, be humble. God's sake.
Bitch, be humble. Don't scream. Turn that location on your phone off. Anyway.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, Alan's not that. Calm down. It's not really Alan.
Are you going to keep... By the way, I just noticed, I looked at our intro the other day. I was like, are you going to keep Alan on our intros for next season?
Take care, Julia. Have a great time at church, and God bless
Yeah,
you and all your family. Thank you, Julie. Much love. Yeah, because, listen, we don't... Alan may be back. We don't know where we're going to go. We're just giving him some time. He's got a new job. We're going to have a team meeting. We'll discuss.
You know, sometimes when you're searching for something online, you put too many filters and nothing comes up.
Yeah,
that's
Alan's
out. Alan, we've got too many things on Alan's filter at the moment where it's like, he can't come back for anything at the moment.
The problem is the intro will change anyway. All of this, as you know, will change. So there you go.
I'm glad it is changing because I've got to say that intro music. There's a delivery company over here that uses that same intro music for their commercials on YouTube, and I've just got so sick of listening to it. Not because of us, but because of that bloody delivery company.
Quality. That is just quality, isn't it? Quality. Right. Anyway, I want to say a massive thank you, though, in all seriousness. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined us. We are 5,149. If we could try and get 1,150, that'd be amazing. We're at 1.4K views so far, which is amazing. We have smashed through 177 likes. With our likes, we got 200. We could have done better, but never mind. If you have not hit that start like,
it'll be 200 by the time you wake up in the morning, mate. So don't worry.
Yeah, please smash that like. If you're new, hit that subscribe. Steve, get into contact with Matt. We'll sort out that pet book to you.
Congrats, Steve.
And thank you to all the new members tonight, and the member gifting, and Lee Gates and Sparkus for that very generous super chats. But yes, we'll be back Tuesday. I'll be on South Stand Tuesday on the panel show, and then at 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, we'll do a late one, and Martin Talks.
I'll be around in some capacity, don't you worry.
He'll be here, don't worry.
If not, I'll see you on the 15th for Brighton at home.
And I'll see you all at 11:15 for a space. We're not going to do really late. The days of doing 5-hour spaces are over. We're just going to do an hour, 2 max. That is it. So I'll see you all in about 40 minutes over on X. Take care. And as always, up the Blues. Take care, all.